The idea of booking something next week isn't a thing. Like that just doesn't
Yeah.
happen. The idea of booking something next month may happen, pretty rare, but now like that, like you're saying, that's the norm because nobody wants to commit to something where all the
Yeah.
logistics and details and planning for them to get the week before and be like, crap, we got to pull the plug on it anyway. So
Yeah.
nobody's willing to commit that far out. But as a speaker, you're just like, I got to manage cash flow. I got to manage,
Yeah.
the busyness of the season and the time of year. And there's just the mental hoops that you're jumping through. I know like as speakers, when we compare notes, it's always just kind of like, what's your spring look like? What's your fill in blank
Yeah.
month look like? How is September for you? How is this month for you? So how are you mentally balancing that of going like, hey, I could book a whole bunch of things next week. I could book nothing next week. And it can be stressful. I'm since especially as speakers, that's not the timeline that historically we're used to.
Yeah. First off, I just want to acknowledge like there is a mental strain and it's probably more under the surface that I'm aware of. For instance, I took all of the week of Thanksgiving off and I've told several people my workflow is that I sprint, I don't sleep well, I work really hard, and then I need a break. Like that's the way I've always been. It's not the way I recommend it, but usually I can tell when I'm running on fumes. I actually wasn't aware of how it's just been this continued thing. So I didn't even know how much I needed that. So how I'm actively thinking about it is I have enough for January. It seems like it's happening. I'm thinking in terms of, am I positioned well? Am I doing the blocking and tackling and the things that will create a long-term, more stable, more sustainable, bigger business? And so as long as I am, and for me, what that means is like I write for Forbes, but I don't do it consistently enough. I have a podcast that's a 3-minute mini podcast, but I haven't marketed it. Like there's certain aspects of my business that I know by executing on those, as things open up, I'm going to be fine. And so that's what I think about is March full, because it's not. Thankfully, I have some things in the spring that were canceled from this last year. So I have enough things that I'm basically good for the whole spring for a net neutral. But at the same time, if I allow myself to compare it to where things were at peak, then it would be a great way to lose a lot of sleep and drink aggressively.